What's up guys, Isaac here. Just quick before the video starts, I'd like to dedicate a huge thank you to J Creams for taking time out of his week and future weeks making these power ranking videos where he analyzes basically every game every week of OWL. So yeah, even if you don't agree with his analysis or his rankings, at least you can appreciate the work he puts into them. But other than that, not really much else. Take it away, Jay.
Hey, what's going on everybody? It's me, JCreams14 here, and today we will be doing a power rankings for week 1 of the OWL OWL. And anyways, I'm going to be going in reverse order, so from teams that I think are currently the worst in the league to the team who I believe is the best in the league. So there's 8 teams, so 8 to 1. And anyways, you'll see them on your screen right now, the picks that I have. And anyways, starting off at number 8, we have Team Cacti, consisting of Ray Bragus, Socrates, and Toasty. And anyways, I put them last just because really Toasty was the only one who had a good performance this week. He pretty much overpowered Eevee Master. He just made the right switches, and Eevee's Whimsicott really just didn't do anything, which kind of allowed Toasty to get a lot of momentum. And I think that Whimsicott kind of just backed Eevee into a bit of a corner where Toasty could always just capitalize with good switches and powerful moves. And going on to Rayab's battle against Dr. Slacking, he made some questionable plays, such as on turn 1 he stayed in on a Milotic with his Crocodile just to get a Toxic off, which could have popped off a Marvel scale. So I really don't see the logic in that play. I feel like Crook could have helped him later on in the match, but especially because it had I think it had Moxie. I think it was Moxie. Forgot about that, but oh. And anyways, this was kind of a weird battle. Like, Milotic had Hypnosis, which I've never seen before. I don't know, but there were some unfortunate para-haxes. But I thought Dr. Slacking really just outsmarted Nico in this battle. He had a fabulous play with Murkrow. He didn't need to sack the Milo. That would be kind of the only bad play I'd say on Slacking's part, was he didn't need to sack his Milotic at the end. He could have just gone in with Darmanitan and swept up, as he did right after he sacked Milo. So overall it was kind of a weird battle, but I think Rayab could have done a lot better if he brought probably more efficient sets. I thought his sets were pretty strange and just overall didn't work very well. And moving on to the last battle of this match was between Socrates and Fozzie Fox. And Sock actually had really good prep and Shed Shell on the Skarmory for the Magnezone that Fox had. But overall, Fox just pretty much out prepped him. And I think that what really decided the match was Fox's use of Magnezone against Bisharp. He brought HP Fighting, which was able to OHKO the Bisharp, and that Magnet Pole didn't allow him to escape. And he also packed a Chople Berry on his Magnezone, which really helped. And so once he was able to eliminate that Bisharp, he kind of just had to make the right plays, the right switches to win the battle. And I know that Sock is a very good battler. He really thinks through his plays and everything. So for Fox to 4-0 him and just kind of, keep the momentum through the battle, that was really impressive. There was some unfortunate hacks on Sock's end. Like his Ampharos' Sleep Talk didn't really give him the moves that he wanted. There's a crit Earthquake on Ampharos from the Anchor thing, the Delmise, but that also didn't matter because he rested it off. And the only thing that kind of sucked for Sock was that he missed the Hydro Pump on the Magnezone. His Tentacruel missed it, but that really didn't change the outcome of this match. Sure, he would have killed the Magnezone instead of the Magnezone killing him, but his Tentacruel was at 51%, and the Latios's Psychic would have done 51 to 60%. So overall, it really didn't matter and change the outcome of the battle. But yeah, so anyways, Fox really did a good job, and overall, this team, Team Cacti, you know, I feel like they could have done better, they could have played better, and I think they have a lot of potential and a lot of room to improve. And so I wish them luck next week, and I think they will be climbing up higher than the 8th spot later in the season. Next up at number 7, we have CloudNine. They consist of Haz, Luke, and Young Metro. And as we'll start off with Haz's battle against, let's see, Haz battled Isaac. And it is kind of a strange battle, but it's exactly how Isaac plays. He makes strange switches that weirdly work out. Like, he switched in his Shaman into a Mamoswine when the Mamoswine could have used Icicle Crash because it was facing a Nidoqueen. Fortunately for Isaac, though, it used Earthquake. However, later in the battle, we did see that the Shaman had a Yachi Berry, and so it would have lived in Icicle Crash, but obviously would have taken big damage, where an Ice Shard probably would have killed it afterwards. So, like, that's a questionable switch, and I think he used Earth Power as well, not even Seed Flare. So, Isaac makes strange plays, but somehow they work out. It's such a crazy play style. But, I was really confused on Haz's part as to why he tried to spore the Nidoqueen 3 different times when the first time he saw that it had safety goggles. It really made no sense. Isaac had no reason to switch out. His Nidoqueen had Ice Beam that was doing good damage. It has a chance to freeze, you know. So the reason to stay in with Amoonguss on the Nidoqueen really kind of baffled me. I didn't really see what Haz was thinking, but anyways, it was able to kind of come out in a stalemate. But anyways, later in the match, there was a really big flinch on the Amoonguss from the Doublade's Iron Head, and so the Doublade probably would have been spored if it hadn't been flinched. But I mean, Isaac got a 4-0, and so I don't think that the overall win-loss would have changed. I think that Isaac still would have won even if that spore had hit. It just would have been a matter of maybe it was a 2-0 or a 3-0, you know. But anyway, so yeah, I thought that Haz just didn't play as well as he could. And anyways, next up we had Metro versus Stromp, and Metro got 3-0'd by Stromp. Just, I don't know, man. Stromp is so good at preserving the Pokemon that he needs and predicting. He made incredible predictions on everything. He didn't let Metro kill his things. His Pokemon, like his Kyurem, his Toxapex, there's just nothing that Metro could do to kill them. It was actually kind of sad to watch because Stromp was just like strangling him throughout the whole match. Basically just flexing on him, roosting with Kyurem, recovering with Toxapex, and just, yeah. There was an unfortunate crit on Metro's Flygon, which I'm pretty sure Flygon would have lived without it. But anyways, it was the crit from his Stromp's Excadrill onto Flygon. And yeah, so I think that the Excadrill would have gone down from the Flygon's Earthquake, but I don't know. Overall, I think Stromp really just overpowered Metro, and Metro just had he didn't bring anything to break through Stromp's walls, and that's what won Stromp the match. And anyways, the last battle was actually a pretty good one between Luke and Ossian. I think I'm saying that right. Ossison. Okay. Anyways, the Roar Blastoise really made me happy. It was very effective against the Calm Mind Cresselia, and he used that quite a few times. I love the Aerial Ace Dugtrio to take out the Virizion, and he did a really good job preserving the mons that he needed, kind of like Strom did. Like the Blastoise, he wished into it a couple times so that Cresselia couldn't set up a whole lot. He was able to rapid spin the rocks away multiple times with the Blastoise, and kept that thing alive and really put himself in a good position to win the match. It was a 148 turn battle, which freaking sucked to watch because the Cresselia versus Gothitelle was so painful to watch. I felt so bad watching the Cresselia struggle to death as it was PP stalled by a freaking Gothitelle. But Luke did what he had to do to win the match, and I respect that, even if it meant stalling out a Cresselia of Rest, Calm Mind, and Psychics. And he had one other move. I forgot what it was though. Oh well. And yeah, so that's kind of why I put CloudNine at number 7. Again, I think they have room to improve, except they just Metro and Has just got so overpowered by Ezek and made some questionable plays. Luke really did a good job in his match though, so I will give him credit for that. And next up at number 6, we have, or I have, Ladies Book Club. They consist of Faticky, Overachiever, the one guy, and that's it. And anyways, so they lost to Team Skull this week, and the first match was between the one guy and Coach Oak, and I thought the one guy actually did really well. He had a good core and he switched through them well. Scarf Volcanion was really good to bring as it just blew through Coach Oak's team. If he had landed the Fire Blast on the Heliolisk, that thing was dry skin because Coach Oak brought the rain, and so yeah, that was probably a dry skin, and so that would have killed Coach Oak's counter to Volcanion. So really good prep by the one guy, and that's part of the reason why they're at number 6, is just because he really did well. Coach Oak had some questionable plays. He really didn't have an answer to Chansey. I feel like he could have brought his Hariyama or something that could just wall break and destroy the Chansey, because it just kept switching in, and it was a really great pivot for the one guy. Coach Oak needed hazards with his Klefki. There was a couple times that I remember he set up the rain when he really should have been setting up spikes, because the one guy was switching between his Pokemon so much that if Coach Oak has hazards up, I would not have been surprised if he won that match. But yeah, and so I'm really not sure why he didn't bring the Zard Y. It really kind of messed up the one guy's team. So yeah, like with Air Slash, Fire Blast, and you know the other coverage moves that it gets, I feel like he really could have done a big number to the one guy, but just didn't bring it. So I'd say bad prep for Coach Oak. Initially he used his Ditto pretty well, but didn't realize exactly how it worked, how its ability worked and everything. So kind of funny, but yeah, he's gonna have to learn how to use Ditto. And anyways, the next battle was between Cav and Faticky. Faticky from Ladies Book Club, he tried to set up too early, which really, with his Komodo, which really was his only win condition, is the only thing that could have killed the Goodra, and it could have potentially swept Cav's team, but he set up too early and he let it get killed, and then he was really just struggling through the rest of the match. It was really good prep on Cav's part to bring the Brick Break T-Tar, or to bring the Brick Break Marowak, Alolan Marowak, to take down the T-Tar, and Faticky just didn't have anything to beat Goodra. So that's kind of, it's just bad prep on Fad's part, but you know, we'll see how he does next week. And then the last match was between Cav again and Overachiever. I thought they both had really good teams, really solid drafts and everything, but they went crit for crit, but I think Cav's crit mattered more because it was on the Scissor. He used Fire Fang with his Lycanroc Dust on the Scissor and crit it and killed it, where the Scissor would have lived because the Lycanroc was not banded. Well, it probably would have lived unless it was like a fully offensive one with 0 HP investment, but I doubt that's what the scissor that he brought. Was kind of confused why I didn't use Bullet Punch on the first turn. I thought that might have been a better move than whatever he had tried to go for, maybe a U-turn. But anyways, Overachiever just kind of played into Cav's hands. Cav saved his sash on the Alakazam, which was really key. Cav had more correct predictions, such as Shadow Balling the Zap with his Aegislash, the Zapdos, and yeah, I thought that Cav just kind of out-predicted Overachiever. But anyways, that is the ladies book club. They did do pretty well for having lost, though. I thought that the one guy really showed up and took it to his opponent. I feel like Faticky with a little bit more prep could have really had a good battle against Cav, and I don't know where the battle between Overachiever and Cav would have gone if Cav didn't crit his Scizor. So anyways, that's why ladies book club is at number 6. And at number 5 we have the last losing team of this week. It's the Forecast, and which consists of Tingleboots, Probopass, and Blake Trout. And anyways, I thought they actually did really well, to be honest with you. Tingleboots did really good against Sebasaur. He used his Volt Turn core very effectively to keep up his momentum. It was a really solid battle, and Boots just kept what he needed alive. Like his Scizor, his Miltank, and his Rotom-Mow. When he was switching between those three, really put a ton of pressure on Sebasaur to the point where he just cracked, and he let his Aggron go down to the Miltank and let his Araquanid go down to the Miltank as well. And from there, Boots could kind of just take the battle and finish it. But anyways, the next battle was between Kenneth and Probopass, aka Scout. I thought that Scout actually did a really good job in this battle. She got Kenneth down to 2 Pokemon while she still had 6, but you know, I don't know. She just didn't prep enough for the Lopunny, because that's what basically reverse swept her team, was the Lopunny. I feel like she needed a Scarfer, maybe a Scarfed Raikou, just to Volt Switch, get some damage off, so then she could come in with the Punkelder and Mach Punch. I thought Mach Punch was good, just needed a little bit more damage, maybe an Aura Sphere or something from the Raikou to really take down that Lopunny. But other than that, I also think that she switched in Suicune too soon, because Suicune could have taken a hit from the Lope, but it let it get a power up punch off on it, instead of getting damaged where Mach Punch could have killed. So yeah, it was I thought she did really well. I thought that Kenneth had some pretty questionable plays, such as staying in with the Venusaur for so long. And I thought that Scout kind of overthought her predictions a little bit. Instead of going into straight up Victini to take out the Venusaur in one hit, she made like 3 other switches in between before going into Victini. Probably just over predicting Kenneth, because Kenneth really doesn't like to switch. I found that out. But anyways, I did think that Kenneth had a good use of Perish Song on this Suicune though, to really put that thing on a timer. But anyways, it was a really close battle, and that's why they're number 1, is because Boots and Probopass really performed well this week. The third battle though, between Blake and Piplup, Blake just got completely overpowered by Dr. Piplup, just because it was his Spiritomb set that really did him in. He had Calm Mind, Rest, Sleep Talk, and Snarl. I know Snarl is Stab, but it's not a good move, and Spiritomb has like 0 speed, and so it just wasn't a good set, and it allowed Piplup to hazard stack him while he was asleep. Snarl doesn't do much damage, even at +2. It's a very weak move, so it has no reason being on a Calm Mind Pokemon. And Piplup actually prepped really well to bring Haze on his Politoed to get rid of those stats. that Spiritomb had up his coal mines. Plus, just like halfway through the battle when it was 6-4, Blake forfeited, which really didn't help his team out, especially with differential. He could have tried to at least KO a couple of Piplup's Pokemon, because otherwise Piplup just was able to get a 6-0 on him. So I really didn't like how Blake just gave up, and I really hope that he comes back next week and tries a little harder. It really didn't look like he tried at all this week, so we'll see what happens next week. But that's why Forecast is the top of the losing teams. I thought that overall they did pretty well this week. They just couldn't finish the job, and just a couple minor tweaks, and they could probably crank out quite a few wins this season. And next up, going on to the winning teams, at number 4 I have Team Skull. They consist of Hazy, Cav, and Coach Oak. And so yeah, we're gonna kind of be talking about the same things with the winners team. Might be going a little bit faster though. So again, Cav did really well against Faticky. The Marowak's Brick Break to kill the T-Tar was great prep. And his Goodra really just walled Faticky's team. He really took advantage of the Como-O going down early to really take it to Faticky and finish the game. And then I guess he played 2 games this week. So then the next game that he played was against Overachiever, which he won the game, and he did get that crit on the Scizor. But overall, in my opinion, I think that he still would have won the match. It was at 2-0. But I do think that he would have come away with a win. And so overall, I think that he played his 2 games pretty well. And then the third game for this team was Coach Oak against the one guy. And again, Coach Oak just missed his opportunities to set up spikes and hazard stack with the Klefki. And didn't have anything for the Chansey. And I feel like he could have prepped better as far as bringing wall breakers, and especially the Charizard Y. I feel like it matched up really well against the one guy's team, and so it's kind of slips me as to why he didn't bring it. But anyways, that is Team Skull. Next up is ARL, consisting of Dr. Piplup, Captain Sebasaur, and Kenneth. ARL, they did pretty well. Sebasaur got overpowered by Boots, but I mean, it's really hard to beat Tingala. He's a seasoned veteran, and Sebasaur did pretty well hanging in there, but I think he just lost patience towards the end, and couldn't make his Halucha, I don't know, kill more things. I feel like the Halucha really did threaten a lot of the Pokemon from Boots' team, but he could have used it better. In as far as like saving it for later. I feel like he played Araquanid kind of poorly. That thing could have put in work, but just didn't. But yeah, anyways, so that was the one loss that ARL had. And then Kenneth, I thought that he made questionable plays. However, he saved his Lopunny until the end, and that really paid off for him, as he was almost able to reverse sweep Scout. But unfortunately he missed a high jump kick towards the very end, which almost gave the win back to Scout, because it was really close. I believe that his Tyrantrum lived on 9% from the Mach Punch from Conkeldurr, and Tyrantrum was able to kill the Cradily and the Conkeldurr to finish the game. So definitely an insanely close match. Could have gone either way, but yeah, well played by him. And then finally, it was Blake versus Piplup. Piplup has a beautiful rain team. I really like the team that he's built, and especially the one that he brought against Blake, because Blake really just didn't have anything for it. He was able to capitalize really well on the Spiritomb set that Blake brought, and I feel like overall he just did what he needed to do to win, and he always kept the momentum. He always was kind of like looking over Blake, like, what are you gonna do? Because anything you do, I can stop it. So I feel like Blake got overpowered by Piplup, and that is why ARL is number 3 in the power rankings. And number 2, I gave to the Christmas Kids. Overall, I thought that they did pretty well in their battles. Dr. Slacking took down Ray Bragus, who's actually known to be quite a good battler, especially with a Mega Metagross, but fortunately he doesn't have it this season. But anyways, yeah. Dr. Slacking capitalized on a couple of Rayab's mistakes, such as the turn 1 Milotic, killing the Crocodile. And yeah, I thought that his play with Murkrow, with the Prankster, was really good. The Paris Song onto the Necrozma was really key in getting that Necrozma out and not letting it set up more than it did. And yeah, I just feel like Dr. Slacking kept the momentum, and really, he brought some interesting sets, such as the Hypnosis Milotic, which ended up working. And he almost got the Mirror Coat onto the Mega Venusaur to kill it, but he used Mirror Coat a turn too late. Instead, he recovered before that, and anyways, cost him his shot at killing a Mega Venusaur in one shot. But other than that, Dr. Slacking with the win did really well. Moving on to, let's see, it was Toasty versus, Eevee Master versus Toasty. Eevee just kind of got smacked. There is really nothing he could do. I guess he could have made better switches, better predictions, but overall, Toasty just overpowered him. I feel like his Whimsicott set needed to do something better. It didn't help his team. I feel like it should have had Tailwind or something so that he could get some big damage onto Toasty's team with some of his more powerful but slower mons, such as the Tyranitar. And other than that, you know, I just think Toasty did really well in this match, and probably could have been better prep from Eevee. So we'll see what he brings next week. And last but not least was Fozzie Fox versus Sock. This is what really capitalized on this team, was Fox's play versus Sock. I feel like his prep was insanely good, especially with the Magnezone, how he basically built it to counter Bisharp, and it worked extremely well. There's a little bit of hacks, but nothing that really mattered. Overall, Fox did really well. He switched really well, and he always kept Sock at the back end on his back foot and just kind of took him down for the win. And yeah, so that's going to be why the Christmas Kids are number 2. They're definitely going to be tough to beat this season. But number 1 is the team that I'm actually a cheerleader for, Team Slask. And believe me, that doesn't play favorites. I feel like the Christmas Kids could have done better if Eevee had, you know, maybe taken down a few more of Toasty's mons. Like if it was a 2-0 or a 3-0, I probably would have put Christmas Kids at number 1. But Eevee just getting overpowered like that, had to put them at number 2, just because Team Slash basically told CloudNine, whatever you can do, we can do better, as far as what Strump and Isaac's play. They really just destroyed Haz and Young Metro. While the numbers might not show it, it was a 4-0 and a 3-0. The way they played, they were never going to lose from turn 1. You could already tell. But the third match between Ossian and Luke, Ossian actually played pretty well throughout the match. He kept Luke at bay for most of the match, I want to say, because Luke had to keep switching into his Sylveon to Wish Up and restore his Blastoise, so Ossian kept a good damage output on Luke. In the end, his Gothitelle just beat his Cresselia one-on-one, and from there is just kind of a downward slope because his Gothitelle was so set up that nothing on nothing on Ossian's team could beat it. It was a really good prep from Luke, and I feel like Ossian did play well, and in my opinion, this is the best team of week 1 as far as performance goes. And yeah, so that's going to be my list for the power rankings of week 1 of the Owl. Be sure to tune in next week to see the updated power rankings. I'm sure there's going to be some switching around in here. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.